Hey everyone, this is going to be a demo of using a virtual cable device to route sound. This was requested, so I'm going to use, I'm going to do this, and what we're going to use is a free piece of software called VBCABLE. VBCABLE is basically a driver that you install that gives you I guess think of it like a virtual device to send sound through and for sound to be captured. This is useful if, say, you want to capture your computer sound and you want to send it to something else, like, I don't know, maybe you're on Microsoft Teams or Skype or TeamTalk or CleanFeed, and you want to share your computer sounds with the other people in those calls. For those of you that don't know, cleanfeed.net, that is a website where you can invite people to join you, and you can record them, or you can just use it as a general purpose chat platform. But it's primarily meant for people producing podcasts and things like that, because you can invite your guests and they join, and basically the sound that comes through is not modified. The sound is what you get from your microphone. And of course, being that it's made for podcasters and things like that, you can do things in stereo, which means that you can play games and things like that, or you can play music and people can hear it the way it was meant to be heard, which is pretty cool. Anyway, what I'm going to do here is try to take you through how this works. Now, before we get started, I should mention that you really have to know what you're doing, because this will change the sound devices on your computer. If you don't configure this properly, you will lose your sound, and if you can't see, you'll need help to get your sound back. But let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing that you want to do is go to the website, vb-cable.com. You click on the link for audio apps, and there should be a download for the VBCABLE. VBCABLE pack 43.zip, I believe, is what the file is. You want to download that, extract it, and then that's where I will take over. So first thing I'm going to do is set the screen reader to output through my built-in sound card. The reason you want to do this, like I said, is because when you install this, it will change your sound devices, and if you don't take this precaution, you'll lose your sound. So let's hit caps lock Control S to get into the synthesizer dialog for NVDA.
Select synthesizer dialog. Synthesizer, combo box Windows 1 core voices collapsed.
I'm using this on my Mac because I thought it would be a lot easier to do this on a different computer. That way I can restart it and do things like that. So let me tab.
Audio output device, combo box Microsoft Sound Mapper collapsed.
By default, this is set to track your default sound device, which is usually fine, but in this case it's not, so I'm going to go down.
Headphones, Cirrus Logic CS4208.
This is the sound card for my Mac, so I'll press enter right here.
Desktop list, Audacity.
Now, NVDA is set to that device specifically, which means that no matter what changes I make, as long as I don't mute the device, I should be able to hear the speech. Now, let me go ahead and install this. So I extracted this to a folder called Cable.
Cable.
So we'll go in here. And
items view list.
What you're looking for, if you go down to the bottom.
VB Madame Cable. VB Madame.
Then we go up.
VB Madame. VB Madame. VB Madame. VB Madame. VB Madame. VBCABLE. VBCABLE setup.exe. VBCABLE setup x64.exe. File description, VB audio.
We want this installer. This is for the 64-bit installer. And it's not letting me bring up the context menu. Can I run it as administrator?
Window dialog cable. VB Audio Virtual Cable Driver Installation, version 1.0.3.8. Programming Vincent Burel and Jean Sylvain Lozic O/S.
Okay, this is not going to work. Let me close this.
Cable. Items view list. VBCABLE setup x64.exe.
So the file has to run as administrator. And I can't bring up the context menu because Shift F10 is not working. Let's do it a different way. So I'm going to go into the properties, hold down Alt and hit Enter.
VBCABLE setup x64.exe properties dialog.
And we'll go to the compatibility tab with Control Tab. That changes tabs in dialog boxes that are tabbed.
Property page if this program isn't working correctly.
And I'll tab over to Run as Administrator.
How do I choose? Run this program in compatibility mode. Disable. Run this program as an administrator checkbox not checked. Checked.
Check that and
Register. Use legacy. Change. OK button.
Go to OK. Now I should say I'm using this on Windows 11.
Cable. Items view list. VBCABLE setup x64.
But the steps should be the same regardless of which operating system you're using. So now if I press the Enter key,
Secure desktop.
We'll choose yes. So Alt-Y.
VB Audio Virtual Cable Driver Installation, version 1.0.3.8.
Now, this installer, at first glance, is not accessible because if I tab around, it doesn't do anything. This is something I should reach out to the developer about because it seems like it wouldn't be that hard to fix. The problem seems to be that the controls don't take keyboard focus. So if I hit caps lock tab,
VB Audio Virtual Cable Driver Installation, version 1.
It's not telling me the control that's highlighted, just the general block of text. So the way to get around this is using object navigation within NVDA. I guess if you're using JAWS, you could use the JAWS cursor or the touch cursor. Object navigation is basically a way to look at the different controls in a program and go to them even if the keyboard cursor can't go there. So I'm using this in laptop layout, so I'll hold down caps lock and press the down arrow to move down by line. If you're using a desktop with the desktop keyboard layout or just a keyboard with the numpad, number 7 goes to the previous line, number 9 goes to the next. So let's go down here.
Vincent Burel and Jean Sylvain Lozic O/S blank. Ready to install. Click the button right there. Install driver.
So this chunk of text right here just says install driver. This is the button that you need to click on. You should be able to tab to this and press the enter key or the space bar, but it doesn't work that way. So I'll click on this. So I'll hold down caps lock and hit enter.
Activate.
So I hit that and it said activate. Now if I read up and down here.
Ready to install. Click install driver. It will install VB Audio Virtual Cable on your system. Bottom. It will install cable. Windows security.
Now, what you may have to do is Alt-Tab, and you'll find a window.
Windows security dialog. Would you like to install this device software?
Wait, let me slow this down a little bit. Sorry.
Rate 75. Rate 70.
So,
VB Audio. Windows security dialog. Would you like to install this device software? How can I decide which device software is safe to install? Michelb //Windows/ID equals 50. Always trust software from Vincent Burel. Checkbox not checked. Read only.
So let me check that box. This is a Windows security dialog prompt that asks if you want to install the driver.
Install button.
So I'll hit install. And I do apologize for not slowing this down before.
VB Audio Virtual Cable Driver VBCABLE Installation Dialog. Installation complete and successful. You might reboot your system to finalize installation. OK button. Cable.
And it's done.
Start. Untitled. Brave. Orange. Brave. Translate this page.
it opens up.
Heading level 3 LE service pages perso esterit definitivement depus LE.
Okay, it opens some kind of web page. I'm just going to close this.
Desktop list.
Now, once this is installed, you want to reboot.
Restart.
And it should come back up here in just a second. The Mac is rebooting. Well, actually, it's not a Mac anymore. It's a PC, but because I've got. There we go.
Windows sign in. Select grouping. Password edit protected blank.
I gotta type in my password.
Welcome.
And here we are back in Windows.
Loading NVDA taskbar.
There we go. And now we're back in Windows.
Most recently used. Selected.
And
folder view list. Recycle bin not selected.
Let me turn the volume up a little bit. The volume always resets for some reason. I think it's because of the boot camp drivers.
Brave. Recycle bin.
Alright. So now that I'm back in Windows and this has rebooted, the driver should be installed. Let's go to the control panel. And there's a whole bunch of ways you can do that. I'm going to take a shortcut and type in the name of the command to directly jump there.
Run dialog type.
So we go to the run box, type in control.
Desktop list. All control panel items. Autoplay link change default settings for CDS, DVDS, and devices so that you can automatically play music. View.
Yeah, whatever. Now I've set my control panel to category view.
Small icons button. Browse control panel items by category or view a complete list of all items.
Or small icon view because it makes navigating the control panel easier and it gets rid of the category view. You can shift tab generally when you get into the control panel. By default, it will be set to category if you press enter here.
Context menu. Category.
That's the default.
Large icons, small icons checked.
And then you can do down arrow and choose the one you want. So I want
all control
small icons. Now if I press S.
Security and sound link. Configure your audio devices or change the sound scheme for your computer. And
press it twice. There I get to the classic sound dialog.
Sound dialog. Playback property page. Select a playback device below to modify its settings. List. Speakers.
Now if I down arrow.
Headphones. Cable input. VB audio virtual cable. Ready.
Okay. This is the cable device for playback. This is typically what you would send things into, and then the corresponding output is what you would choose as the input for your microphone, basically. Now, let me make sure.
Select synthesis audio output device, combo box headphones, Cirrus Logic.
Okay, so we're still using the headphones sound device for NVDA.
Sound dialog.
Now, for this first exercise, if I want to
cable input, VB audio virtual cable, ready.
Set my default system to this.
Configure button. Set default split button sub menu.
I'll tab over to set default.
Pressed. Select a playback device.
And now
headphone cable input, VB audio virtual cable, default device.
This is my default device.
Tab control, playback.
Now the problem is, by default, you have to monitor it, because if you don't monitor it, you can't hear it. So if we switch to the recording tab.
Recording tab selected. Recording property page. Select a recording device below to internal microphone.
Now I'll go down. That's the built-in microphone of the Mac.
Microphone, Cirrus Logic. Cable output, VB audio virtual cable, ready.
This is the cable output. This is the microphone device, basically.
Set properties button.
As counterintuitive as it may be, output is input and input is output. Except, well, you're sending things into the input and capturing it with the output, but the output is your input because you're setting it as your default recording device. That's not at all confusing. All right. Now let's go here to properties,
Press Cable Output Properties dialog.
and I'll go Control Tab
Property page. You can listen to a portable music.
to the Listen tab. That's my phone. Sorry about that.
Playback. Listen to this device checkbox not checked.
Okay, so for just monitoring,
Checked.
we want to check this.
Playback through this device. Combo box default playback device collapsed.
Playback through this device. You don't want default because that would play through itself and loop.
Headphones. Cirrus Logic CS4208 of 114.
This is the built-in sound card on the Mac for the headphone output.
Power management grouping. Continue running when on battery power radio button check. OK button.
So we'll hit OK.
Sound dialog. Recording property page.
So now I am monitoring the output. So now, if for instance, let's say I want to record Sound RTS. So let's just say that I want to do that. Now, let's go to Audacity.
Folder view list. Access Audacity. New notification from OneDrive. Turn on Windows Backup.
Yeah, shut up.
Automatically save.
Shut up.
Audacity.
I don't care.
Track view table.
So here we are in Audacity. Now I'm going to hit Control P.
Preferences. Audio settings dialog.
And we're on the tab for audio settings. If I tab,
Interface grouping. Host. Combo box Madame collapsed.
you can leave that as is.
Playback grouping. Device. Combo box headphones.
Playback, I'd recommend setting that to your built-in sound card.
Recording grouping. Device. Combo box internal microphone.
And we don't want the built-in microphone. We want
Cable output. VB audio virtual.
cable output.
Audacity. Track view table.
And here we are. And I think I have sound. Wait, do I have Sound RTS on
Folder.
this computer?
Sound.
Yeah, I do. So let's open up Sound RTS.
Soundress 1.3. Single. Soundress.exe.
And let's go ahead and Alt-Tab back to Audacity.
Audacity. Track view table.
Now if I press R,
One audio, one row not selected.
you're not going to hear anything because
Soundress
I don't
1.
have the screen reader going through, but I'll run Sound RTS. And see if it'll load here.
Server.exe. Audacity. Sound. All control. Soundress 1. Sound. Soundress.exe. File. Sound. Sound RTS 1.3.7 teleportation sound pack. Single player. Multiplayer.
So now you hear these
Press
clicks.
tab. Single play. Single player.
Let's go single player.
Please make campaign. Org. Start a game on. Start a game on.
Let's just start a random game here.
JL88. JL8. Please make us. Invite quiet computer. Invite aggressive. Invite aggressive computer. Start. Start. Objective. Neutralized enemy. B6. 4 peasant. 1 town hall and 2 farm. 1 gold mine.
So here we go. We got some sounds
1
playing.
6. You control 4 peasant. Exploit gold. Town hall. Recruit peasant.
Let's get some
Recruit
peasants.
peasant. Recruit peasant. Recruit peasant. Town hall 1 at B6. You control 4 peasant. Blank. C6. Go to C6. Not enough gold. Peasant 5 ready.
So what should be capturing right now is my system
6 ready.
sound, which is
3
right now
gold.
is just the game. So if I play the recording back, you'll hear just the recording, not the text to speech, because the screen reader should
Peasant
not be
7
going
ready.
through. So let me
Menu. Continue game. Cancel game. Cancel game.
let's just quit
Defeat
out of
at
here.
10. Score. Please. Go back. Campaign. Go back to the previous.
I'm just gonna
Soundress
close
1.
the program and let's
Audacity.
stop the recording with the space bar, and I'll hit the space bar. Now you won't hear anything for a while because
9:10 a.m.
and I was just checking the time. You won't hear anything for a while because I was trying to get stuff set up, but you should hear some clicks here, so I'll shut up. Actually, let me right arrow here so I can, there we go, see? So it's me navigating. And now you hear me playing the game with no text-to-speech feedback. So this could be useful if you want to capture something or record, I don't know, maybe you just want to record just the sound or send just your computer sound through TeamTalk or CleanFeed or Microsoft Teams, and you don't want people to hear the text-to-speech from the screen reader. As you can hear, it's in stereo. So that's how that works. If I wanted to, I could send the screen reader through. And there's my recording. I'm just clicking on things. So that's how that works. So let me delete that. Let's see.
No, press Audacity.
Wait.
Track. No audio selected dialog. Select the audio. Audacity.
Okay, yeah, so that recording is gone because I did a Control-A and delete to get rid of it. So that's how you do that. If I wanted to send NVDA through,
Select audio output device, combo box headphones, Cirrus Logic, cable input, VB Audio Virtual C. Audacity, track view table.
there you go.
9:12 a.m.
Now,
9:12 a.m.
there is a little bit of latency.
Folder view, VLC, sound, cable.
There is a little bit of latency when you're monitoring VBCABLE. I don't know if that's a Windows thing. It probably is. Unfortunately, I don't know how to get past that.
Audacity.
But now, if I hit record again,
Audacity. Folder view list, cable.
you should hear the NVDA speech.
Run dialog.
And I'll
Selection
just
removed.
type some nonsense into the run box
A dialog with run desk.
and
Audacity.
play the recording.
Audacity. Folder view list, cable.
And you
Run
just
dialog. Selection removed. A dialog with run desk. Audacity.
So there's that. Okay. Let me set NVDA back.
Select audio out. Microsoft's cable in headphone. Audacity.
I do definitely notice a little bit of lag because now
Folder.
if I,
VL cable.
well, maybe there's not
Audacity.
that much lag. So yeah, so now I've got it back to where I want it going out to the sound card. Let's show you a couple more things here. Let's say that I want to send my microphone through.
Run
We'll go to the control panel,
all control. Sound link.
type in SO for sound.
Sound dialog.
I'll go to the recording tab.
Sounds. Save as. Sounds. Tab control.
Oop, I
Recording.
went too far.
Recording property page.
We want to go to the
Internal microphone. Cirrus Logic CS 4208 of 114. Default device.
This is my built-in microphone. We'll go to properties.
Internal tab control. Listen tab selected.
Go to the listen tab.
Property
Check listen to this device.
checked. Playback through this
And we want to send it to
headphone, speaker, cable input, VB audio virtual cable,
cable input.
power. OK. Sound dial.
Now, what you're hearing is my voice coming from the back microphone and my microphone here that I'm recording.
OK. But new notification.
So
Folder view list. Cable. Audacity.
let's go back to Audacity,
Track view.
and we'll just make a quick recording here. Hey everyone, this is a test of VBCABLE in Audacity.
9:15 a.m.
Let's
Folder view list. Audacity.
you should be able to hear me. You should be able to hear the. Well, you won't be able to hear the text to speech because I don't have it going through. Let's
Accessible YouTube Downloader Pro.
run this YouTube program. And
Pane. Press the Alt key to search in YouTube. Control plus F but search dialog.
let's search for something in YouTube. Let's search for The Last of Us Part 1.
Dialog searching. Accessible. The Last of Us Part I. PS5. 4K 60 FPS HD. Dialog playing.
Just play some random stuff. And
The Last of Us.
it should generate some sound here. There we go. Just someone using a PlayStation. Skip ahead. Well, this is probably not the best.
105%.
I was changing the volume.
100%.
Okay, there's some music. Now, let me stop this.
Accessible. New notification. Audacity.
And let's listen to the recording. Before I do that, let me turn off.
All control. Sound RTS 1. Sound quit.
Why is Sound RTS open again?
Quit. Audacity. Audacity. All control. Auto. Sound.
Now let's turn off the microphone.
Sound. Tap. Recording. Intern. Microphone. Cirrus. OK. But. Recording. Selector. Properties. Press. Micro. Tap. General tab. Sound.
Wait.
All control. Sound. Tab. Record. Internal. Microphone. OK. Selector. Internal. Configure. Property.
Oh, we want internal mic.
Tab. Listen. Property. Not checked.
Uncheck listen.
OK. Sound dialog. OK.
There we go. Now, let's listen to the recording. Hey everyone, this is a test of VBCABLE in Audacity. Let's you should be able to hear me. You should be able to hear the, well, you won't be able to hear the text to speech because I don't have it going through. Let's run this YouTube program. And let's search for something on YouTube. Let's search for The Last of Us Part 1. Just play some random stuff. And it should generate some sound here. There we go. Just someone using a PlayStation. Skip ahead. Well, this is probably not the best. I was changing the volume. Okay, there's some music. So there you go. That's how you do that. That's how you would send your microphone through. Unfortunately, you will have to hear yourself. I don't know if there's a way to get around that. It's just the way that it is. The last thing I want to show you. Okay, I think this recording is empty. Okay. Last thing I want to show you is how to capture a single application. Now, you might find this useful for a variety of reasons. Perhaps you want to record, I don't know, just your media player, or just one particular game, or you want to, well, there's a whole bunch of things that you could do. So let's do something here. I'm going to go back into the control panel.
System. Sound.
Go to sound.
Sound dial. Tab.
And we're going to
play speakers. Cirrus Logic CS 4208. Headphone. Set default split button sub.
I'm going to set my default playback device to headphones.
Pressed. Select a prop. OK. All control panel.
Now,
system.
What should happen?
Audacity. Track.
When I record.
Audio out. Microsoft Sound.
Set the audio output to Microsoft Sound. So there we go. Now we're back to using my default sound card. What should happen if I record right now is you hear nothing at all.
9:20 a.m.
Because there's nothing going through the cable. Now,
disallowed. Audacity.
Well, it said disallowed because I tried to delete something and wait.
No audio. Select Audacity.
Okay, so now the file is clear once again. So right now there's nothing going through that virtual cable. So let's say, I don't know, let's say I want to record the YouTube program, and say I'm doing something else on my computer, like
folder view list, accessible,
like playing Sound RTS. Let's say I want to play my game, but I want to record something in YouTube, but I don't want to capture anything else. So let's get this going here. So I'm going to run the YouTube program.
Accessible YouTube Downloader Pro. Press the
which, by the way, this is a very nice YouTube program that lets you play things directly from YouTube without running your browser. So let's, we'll just put that here. And
folder Sounders 1.3.
Let's open up Sound RTS.
Sounders 1. Sounders.exe.
Sound RTS is
Sound
loading.
RTS. Single player. Quit this program.
Alright, now to set this up, I'm going to go into settings with Windows key I.
Settings window. Search box.
And let's tab over.
Home.
And we'll go down to System.
System not selected. System.
Now, what I'm going to do basically is set an application to output to the cable device. This is a feature that was added in, I think, Windows 10, probably in I think it was added in 2018 actually. So if you have that version of Windows 10 or newer, you can do this too. So we're going to go to System and then tab over to the list of categories within that and find Sound.
System, Desktop, Microsoft, OneDrive, Windows Update Attention Needed button, list.
Yeah, I don't care about Windows Update right now. Let's go to Sound, so I'll down arrow.
Sound.
Press Enter.
Output grouping. Choose where to play sound. Headphones selected. Apps might have their own settings.
Now, this is also where you can change your default sound devices. Microsoft has this weird hybrid thing where they have the classic control panel, but they're slowly migrating things to this new app for settings. It's very confusing.
List. Cable input grouping. Cable input button. Cable input radio button not checked. Pair a new output device. Volume grouping. Adjust the output volume slider 44. Mono audio talk. Input grouping. Choose a device for speaking or recording. Internal microphone selected.
So the microphone is my default device. You could set that to the cable, but I don't recommend it. It's easier just to configure that in the programs that you want to configure it in.
List. Internal.
So
internal micro. Pair a new input.
What I'm looking for.
Volume grouping. Mute microphone button. Adjust the input volume. Advanced grouping. Troubleshoot. Output devices link. All sound devices grouping. Turn devices on. Volume mixer grouping. App volume mix. App input and output devices. More button. More tool.
Tab one more time.
More sound settings grouping. Open button. Related support. Show all set.
Actually, so the thing you want. Let me go back twice.
Advanced volume mixer grouping. App volume mix. App input and output devices. More button. More
we want this.
Volume mixer. System grouping. Volume grouping. Mute volume button.
Okay. I think in Windows 10 this is called app volume and sounds or something like that. Basically, if I tab here.
Adjust the output volume slider 44. Output device grouping. Output device input device group. Apps grouping. List. System sounds button collapsed.
Now this list is a list of all the apps that are running that are producing sound. If I down arrow.
Cable output. NVDA application. Sound RTS 1.3.7 teleportation sound pack button. VLC media player. Sound RTS 1.
Wait.
NVDA app. Cable output. Sound RTS. Sounders 1. Accessible. Search in YouTube.
Oh.
Press the.
Let's actually
search.
Make this program play some sound here.
Search dialog.
Let's look for let's look for my stuff. How about that? Let's say just for the sake of it, let's say let me look for something of mine. How about Chris write The Last of Us Part 1.
Dialog searching. Accessible. The Last of Us Part I Part 2 gameplay demo. Duration 57 minutes. Dialogue playing.
And
The Last of Us.
Alright guys, so this is part 2. We'll just pause that.
Settings. Setting. System sound. Cable out. NVD. Sound. VLC.
Why isn't it showing?
VLC media player. libVLC 3.0.16. Grouping. Mute app button.
Why isn't it showing the YouTube downloader? You know what? Fine, let's just do VLC. So
adjust the output volume slider 1. Reset sound device list. System group. Output device.
It should. Wait, let me.
Video op.
let me run this again. Because I think what you have to do is you have to run this when your program is playing sound.
Sound RTS. The last of Sounders. Audacity. Settings. Setting. Home. Desk. Home button. Home. System not. System. Desktop. One. Note. Sound.
And go sound.
Cable. Parent. Adjust. Mono. Input. List. Internal micro. New. Volume group. Adjust the advanced grouping. Output device. All sound devices. Volume mixer grouping. Volume mixer. Adjust the output. Input. Apps grouping. List. Cable. NV. Sound. VL.
Okay, well, this is not going to work. Let me pause the recording real quick. I'll find something to play in VLC. Actually, we can do this like this. Let's say I want to play Sound RTS. Let's say we do the opposite.
Settings.
So
sound system group apps grouping list. Sound RTS 1.3 expanded.
So you press enter on the program that you want. I don't know why the YouTube program isn't appearing here, because this list is supposed to show programs that make sound.
Sound RTS 1.3.7 teleportation sound pack grouping. Mute app button. Mute app tool.
You can mute the application.
Adjust the output volume slider 100.
That's the volume.
Output device combo box default collapsed.
You can choose the output and the input.
Input device combo box.
I'm not sure why you'd want the input. I think that lets you set a custom input device for the application, but that probably only applies if you're making a recording with it. So let's output Sound RTS.
Cable input. VB audio virtual cable.
To cable input. There's also a button here if you continue tabbing.
Reset sound devices and volumes for all apps to the recommended defaults grouping.
You can reset to the defaults. I'm going to close this.
The video options sub menu. The last.
And let's just let's say that we're going to do this here. So let's say I want to, for some reason, listen to my demo and play Sound RTS. So I'm going to start playing my video. Now I'm going to actually talk about playing this, because this is where the fun begins. Now, so hit the record button. In part 1, I got a crash course in how to play this. I started playing this on Monday. It is currently Sunday. I completed playing this on Friday, so it took me about 5 days. So this is a very long game. And
new objective build
you have to learn some basic concepts to
you control peasant 1 at a 1.
So let's try to do that now.
Build farm gold mine
I'm going to go in here.
Peasant 1 town hall gold mine wood to the east. Blank. A meadow. Build farm on a meadow in the fog of war.
We're going to go through here.
Select
now,
so
this is a little confusing, I know,
I've beat the game,
but just bear with me.
I can start a new game and keep some things. There are workbenches that you'll find during gameplay that let you apply...
The last of access.
Okay, shut up.
File submit. Sounders 1. Sound
so,
new button collapse.
Now that my recording's done,
Audacity.
Let's listen to it. Wait. Oh, hang on a second. Why is it coming through my built-in speakers? Hold on. Let me see if I can fix that.
Preference. Category tree view. Audio. Playback grouping. Device. Combo box headphones. Cirrus. Audacity.
Let's try this again. Why is it coming through my built-in microphone or speakers? Okay, well, I'm not sure why it's going through my built-in Mac speakers, even though I told it headphones. But you get the idea, right? I was playing two things at once, but I told this to only capture the game, and it did that. So that's a quick demo. And now finally, to wrap up this very long demo, let's teach you how to turn this off so that you don't break your sound. When you're done using this, it is best practice to go into the control panel.
Tech desktop list. All sound.
Sound
dialog.
And
tab control. Playback tab. Play speakers. Cirrus. Headphones. Cirrus Logic CS4. Proper. Okay.
Okay, that is my default. So if you have set the cable as your default, you'll want to go into playback and set your default device back to your speakers or headphones or whatever the built-in card is.
Tab. Recording.
And then under recording.
Record. Internal microphone. Cirrus Logic.
I guess you can keep the monitor on if you really want to.
Cable output. Set to properties but press. Cable.
But you can also turn it off.
Tab. Listen. Play. Listen to this device checkbox check. Not checked.
Because I think it does use a bit more power to send the audio through.
Sound. Okay.
If you're not using it,
all control.
there's no point.
Audacity. Track.
So that's basically how you do it. So now my sound is back to the way that it should be. And I could reset the sound settings for the game, because I think if I try to run it...
Save change.
Let me close Audacity.
Folder view list. Sound.
If I try to run Sound RTS, it's probably not going to play sound because it's still going through the cable, which is not being monitored. Anyway, I do apologize for this being so long. Hopefully you were able to understand what's going on here. It works, but you really have to be careful, because if you don't configure it properly, you can lose your sound. And like I said, I think if you can, you should definitely get some hardware, because that will be much easier. You just plug in the hardware and use it. When you don't want it, you just unplug it, and it goes away, and it takes away the complexity. But if you just want something that's free and you want to be able to do this and send sound to different things on your computer, this is one way to do it. Finally, you can donate to the project and get additional cables, which is basically you get independent devices that you can send things through. You might prefer that for some things. It just depends on what your needs are. And I may consider donating if I can contact the developer and that issue with the installer is fixed. Anyway, that's going to do it for me. Make sure I'm still recording. Yes, I am. So, yeah, that's going to do it for me. If you have any questions, like I said, let me know in the comments, but you guys take care.